I believe that there's a potential that what's going to really happen is for those that actually did start using Agentforce and Data Cloud or whatever it may be, which are consumption-based products, and you're using it like this, and then they miraculously start tracking your usage. Now they know what you're using and not using. What's going to happen is it's going to go like this. And everyone's excited at the company because everyone's using it. The problem's going to be, and I've seen this before, that's the new baseline. So what they do is they take that and go, okay, cool. Now you owe me a lot more money.
Welcome to Insights for IT Negotiations, a podcast by UpperEdge, a leading IT sourcing, negotiation, and project execution advisory firm. I'm John Belden, UpperEdge's Chief Research and Strategy Officer.
And I'm Kylie Chisholm, UpperEdge's Marketing Manager. Join us every other week as we share insights to help you maximize the value of your key IT relationships. In each episode, we'll delve into the topics that matter most to IT decision makers and sourcing professionals. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Insights for IT Negotiations. I am Kylie Chisholm. I am UpperEdge's Content Marketing Manager, and I am joined again today by Adam Mansfield. He is our Salesforce practice leader, among other practices, but today we're chatting all things Salesforce. So, Adam, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, other than this crazy hair day I'm having, which... I don't know what it is. I think it's maybe I'm getting older or whatever it is, but always good to chat. Always good to chat, Kylie.
Yeah. Well, and today we're talking about something very timely. I'm sure it should be top of mind for every Salesforce customer. Dreamforce just happened. You were in attendance in San Francisco. So we're going to dive into what you learned, what customers need to know, all of that fun stuff, just a Dreamforce lowdown episode.
Love it.
So let's start with, I know that while you were at Dreamforce in San Francisco, you had a chance to talk with many Salesforce customers, their partners, reporters, financial analysts. While out there at Dreamforce, people are curious as to what were like the major themes that Salesforce was really touting. So what are some of the takeaways from those discussions that you were having?
There's the obvious thing, right? You'd have to really try hard not to pick up on this one, but it all comes down to Agentforce. It all comes down to AI. I think everyone knew going into Dreamforce that's what this was going to be focused on, and they did not disappoint. I would tell you that they extended it a little bit further, but again, not a lot of surprises, right? It was heavy focus on why you should be using Agentforce, why you should be going all in with Agentforce. And the all-in component is it's not just Agentforce, it's Data Cloud. It's Slack as the operating system. It's the Agentforce 360, which was, I think, kind of cute. They got rid of the whole customer 360 a little bit while ago, and maybe they thought people were having withdrawals and they needed to stick that back up somewhere. But the Agentforce 360, right? And they had a few customers get up on stage and talk about it, and it was all centered around this. So thematically, it wasn't really a big surprise. The thing that was surprising, and again, whether I was talking to customers, new customers, longstanding customers, the financial analyst community, reporters, all the people you listed, right? Mm-hmm. I think the thing that caught them maybe a little bit off guard, even though they maybe even went in knowing this might be the case, was the simple fact that there was very little, if no conversations about the core products that they've been selling for the last 10, 15, 20 years. Mm-hmm. How do I get more out of what I already have? Investments that they're putting into these products. It's all about the investment is AI, Agentforce, Data Cloud, Sales Cloud, Tableau, Vibe, MuleSoft Vibe, all this. And that's great. But there's a lot of customers that are trying to get more out of what they already have. So I think that was, from a theme, something that stood out.
Yeah.
Also, this is one where maybe we don't spend a lot of time. We definitely interact with these individuals. There wasn't a lot of conversations during Dreamforce or any one of the keynotes, rather, of Dreamforce around the community, the administrators, the people who are in the weeds with the products themselves, the people that they usually put the gold jacket on, the thank you to the community. Sure, it was there, right? But like usually there's a lot more of that building up of the community, but it was more about buy more, buy more, buy more. And quite honestly, I feel like, I know we're going to be talking more about this likely, that also struck a chord, right? So that theme, which is a really good first question, right? Like, what was it?
Yeah.
Well, there was the obvious, and I think the problem is that even though customers were going in thinking it would be the obvious, I don't think they thought it was going to be as predominant.
Sure. Yeah, well, and it's interesting too, because I feel like you and I just had a conversation around the fact that Salesforce has like seemingly abandoned its core products in favor of Agentforce and in favor of AI. And to your point, I mean, I it sounds like customers expected that, but not to the level that they were seeing at Dreamforce.
That's the fair way to say it. I mean, I think it's, it doesn't surprise them necessarily.
Sure.
But every conversation I had, that was the general takeaway from that.
So then I know a big announcement at Dreamforce was around Salesforce's new AELA. Would you say that AELA? Or is that how they're referring to it?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, it's kind of funny. I think they don't even know what to do with it. But
Fair.
I would just call it out by the letters to play it safe.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure. I know there's like SELAs, so I was like, is that
SELAs before?
We have,
and there are some commonalities there.
Yeah. So the AELA model that was announced at Dreamforce in a video that you put out last week. You were talking about that, giving sort of the rundown on all things AELA. So for those who didn't catch that video, can you share some of the key insights and what customers need to know about this model?
Yeah, no, it's yes. So here's the deal. So it was interesting, right? And it's funny, going back to the question you just asked me, the customers and what we talked about. A lot of them wanted to hone in on the last slide that was put up at the main keynote. So at the end of the keynote, which by the way, not to go back to this, but this is another thing that stood out that I just thought of. So I think the block of time for the main keynote was 2 hours. Usually, like it goes and people are like, all right, let's go. Let's wrap this up. Like I got somewhere to be. I'm getting hungry. This thing ended like 30, 40 minutes short of the time. So I think there's something to that, right? They ran out of stuff to talk about. So on top of that, going back to your point, at the very end, they put a slide up and they talked about how they're going to be accommodating to customers and they've listened, and AI and Agentforce want to make it easier so you can subscribe to it. And we're going to be launching this Agentic enterprise licensing agreement. And Benioff, I think, struggled with himself of what to say. And that was it. Now, we work with many large Salesforce customers. So this concept, this thing has been kind of percolating and being kind of tested out a little bit. And it is like the SELA, in which you and I, and we've been putting a lot of content out there, which essentially is, hey, let's make it easy for you guys, customers. What we're going to do is we're going to put it all in one thing. Don't worry about quantities. Don't worry about how much you use or don't use. Don't worry about forecasting. Don't worry about that. Just put it all in a basket and use as much as you want. Sounds interesting. Not only is it use everything you want, but at one set price. So price certainty. Oh, okay, cool. Here's the problem, okay? Number one, anytime that's this construct, it usually is centered around, and based on my interactions, I believe this to be true. They're trying to muddy the waters on how much dollars, how much actual use, how much actual commitment to Agentforce, Data Cloud, Slack, and the components is actually out there. Because they don't need to report the revenue numbers tied to the individual products. What they can just do, because now it's in this agreement, you now become an Agentforce customer. Even though you may not even be turning this stuff on for a while. Okay, so there's a motivation behind it. But there's also problems. I've been doing this a very long time. And that's partly why my hair looks the way that it does. Going backwards and all over, and gray and all over the place. But when we think about the history of other vendors, when you start thinking about enterprise licensing agreements and you start thinking unlimited, I'm going to tell you and everyone listening that I would still be forcing Salesforce to give you the forecast. What do you actually think I'm going to use? How did you model that? How many conversations? How many actions? The things that you should be doing with Agentforce around flex credits and otherwise, still have them do that. Put them in that, because I'm guaranteeing you they can't answer it. Secondly, what happens? So I'm going to have this contract with you for 3 years, let's say. Great. What if I don't turn this stuff on? What if I don't use it? Also, how is my next fee determined? Mm-hmm. So what happens at renewal? Now, typically, and you and I have done these conversations, you put a renewal protection in place. Mm-hmm. So there's a fee, and you cap how much the fee can grow up 3 years from now. They usually put conditions in there that says you have to maintain your products that are inside the mix in order to get the cap. That's a problem, because what if you don't want this stuff because you're not using it? Here's the other problem, and I still believe this may happen. I believe that there's a potential that what's going to really happen is for those that actually did start using Agentforce and Data Cloud or whatever it may be, which are consumption-based products, mm-hmm. and you're using it like this, and then they miraculously start tracking your usage. Now they know what you're using and not using. What's going to happen is it's going to go like this. And everyone's excited at the company because everyone's using it. The problem's going to be, and I've seen this before, that's the new baseline.
Yeah.
So what they do is they take that and go, okay, cool. Now you owe me a lot more money.
Yeah.
This is the game. So if you're considering this, you have to get way ahead of these things.
Yeah.
And so I'll leave you with this. The fact that they put it on the main keynote and they covered it as we're doing it for our customers, mm-hmm. usually means they need to do it to get what they want.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot more to come. A lot more to come on this. We'll be talking about it a lot as we continue to now enter into these negotiations with these as the center point.
Did you know that UpperEdge offers subscription advisory services? This on-demand solution provides essential benchmarks and market insights specific to your business needs precisely when you need it, empowering you and your team to make informed decisions for your IT initiatives. Position your team for success. Reach out today via the link in the show notes to learn more. All right. It's a good thing that you brought up renewals, because that should hopefully be top of mind for a lot of Salesforce customers. With the end of January coming up, Salesforce's year end, I'm sure a lot of renewals are tied to that year end. So for those customers that have renewals coming up, based on what you heard and saw at Dreamforce and what you're seeing in client engagements right now, what are some of the tips you would give to help them get the right deal in place at that renewal?
Yeah, I think the key to this whole thing is going to be centered around, I think you got to be upfront right out of the gate. You mm-hmm. got to tell Salesforce. So if there's interest, sure, right? Like you should tell them there's interest. There's interest in Data Cloud, but not yet Agentforce. There's interested in both. We're interested in Slack. Whatever those pieces are, mm-hmm. I think you have to just lead and get out of the gate with it. Now, if there's no interest, meaning you are not going to get there by January where you're going to be able to add, I think you also have to communicate that. And the key is communicating that at the executive sponsorship level. Mm-hmm. Okay? You just got to put it out there. But this is you have to articulate the message around, it may not be now that I can do what you want me to do. I may not be in a position, because by the way, Salesforce, you haven't sold me yet. I don't feel comfortable with forecasting or my actual needs or the value equation or the respected ROI, or you connecting it to my business versus like tailoring it to me, like you haven't done it yet. And yes, maybe this thing I'm hearing about, this contract model where you're going to make unlimited use and don't worry about counting. Okay, great. But that's red flagville.
Yeah.
So I'm just not there.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Salesforce. I still have a lot of stuff that I spend a lot of money with you on. I've been a long-standing customer. My dollars have been funding you to go build these products. So I need you, Salesforce, to, with all due respect, focus correctly. I'm going to be telling you what I'm actually using. I'm going to show you I'm not getting the full value of what I already had. I'm going to show you all of this. My time is spent hours and days and weeks pulling this together. I'm going to ask you to give me a fair, compelling, competitive proposal based on what I actually need. And here's the thing. If you choose not to, if you choose to get upset or get emotional or play some sales tactic to force something that I don't want, here's the problem. Even if I might accept it, those days are over inside of my company. There's too much scrutiny on your products. The dollars are too big. I cannot put forth proposals that have astronomical price increases in them for diminished value. I cannot then walk in and say, well, Salesforce is telling me if I add Agentforce, we're going to get a better deal on. You don't want those optics. Because here's what's going to happen. In January, you force me to sign a deal that doesn't feel right. You try to be opportunistic. You hit me with price increases because I don't want to give you something you haven't yet sold me yet. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to have air cover to spend the next 2 to 3 years figuring out all the things I'm going to rip out that are your products. Mm-hmm. So you need to think about, do you want to behave the right way tied to what I need now, short term? And then maybe I keep talking with you because you did the right thing about what you want. Or you can choose to add friction, but it's not even friction.
Yeah.
You need to think about it as we're going to stop conversations about Agentforce Data Cloud, but it's also what am I going to take away from you?
Yeah.
That's the decision. And I think that message, clear, concise, as soon as possible, becomes the most important thing right now for Salesforce customers.
100%. And, we have a lot of really great resources on Salesforce negotiations, Salesforce renewals. So this should be the start of your education journey, if you will. Explore UpperEdge. We have all the resources. And yeah, thank you, Adam. This was a really helpful conversation. I always look forward to our yearly Dreamforce downloads. And yeah, we can chat offline about Benson Boone and Metallica, because I don't know if that's going to be as helpful to people, but.
Well, listen, I will give you this one. So I did my own because you told me and asked me to, so I did. I did my own kind of like personal polling.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, Metallica got, at least the people I was interacting with, Metallica got the most, like, I'm going to go see Metallica. I'm most excited to see Metallica.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing against Benson Boone.
Sure. But Metallica withstands the test of time. And your Salesforce renewal should as well, to tie it back into the value.
That's impressive. That people, that's how it's done. Well done, Kylie.
Well, thank you again, Adam. And thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you for listening to Insights for IT Negotiations. This episode was hosted by John Belden and Kylie Chisholm and produced by Mike Brown. Be sure to subscribe to the show wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss a new episode. For more information on IT sourcing and risk management strategies, visit UpperEdge.com and subscribe to our monthly UpperEdge newsletter. Thank you for listening.